Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Evening News for today, Saturday, April 13, 2024. I am Jarrell O'Brien. Thank you for tuning in. In the headlines, government to import technicians from Cuba for electricity sector, President Ali. Guyana finalizes deal for 36 megawatt power ship, vessel to arrive in 3 weeks. 127 megawatts of new power installed by PPPC government in 4 years, Finance Minister. Soldier dies at training school in Region 10, GDF. And prison service on massive recruitment drive to get quality officers. Now for the news in detail. In light of challenges in securing much-needed technical personnel for the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated, GPL, the government of Guyana will be outsourcing at least 10 highly skilled technicians from Cuba. This was announced by President Dr. Finali on Friday evening during a live broadcast to update the public on the issues facing the state-run electricity company and the interventions being taken by the government to remedy the heightened power outages across the country. At a meeting last week, President Ali read the riot act to the top brass of GPL and also had strong words for officials from Wärtsilä and the Power Producers and Distributors Incorporated, the two companies that play integral roles in generating the country's power. The head of state had subsequently rolled out a shake-up of the GPL management, but subsequently told reporters that tremendous technical support could be imported since the power company was having difficulties in filling these positions locally. On Friday, President Ali underscored the need to address the severe skills deficit at the technical level, as well as strengthen GPL's management capacity and capability. Let's have a look.
We have a severe skill deficit in the PPDI and Guyana Power and Light, especially at the technical level. There is indeed a shortage in relation to technical capacity and capability. We're assessing our management capability, and we need to also work on strengthening our management capacity and capability. We're taking steps to increase the technical capacity of GPL by recruiting an additional 10 engineers with the relevant skills to ensure adequate maintenance and reliability in the system. Now, we have gone out many times to procure the services of Guyanese engineers, and we have not been successful because of the demand for engineers in other areas. So we are working, for example, I just concluded meetings with Cuba, the Cuban ambassador. They have very skilled technical personnel who they are willing to deploy immediately to work in the system and to help us technically.
Meanwhile, the Guyana government has finalized the agreement for the 36 megawatt power ship to supplement the capacity of the national grid in order to alleviate the heightened electricity woes in the country. More in this Michael Henry report.
During a live broadcast on Friday evening, President Dr. Irfan Ali said that the procurement of this 36 megawatt floating power plant will help to offset generation shortfalls being faced by the state-run Guyana Power and Light. With its current myriad of challenges, GPL is now generating some 165 megawatts of power. However, the current peak demand for electricity is at 180 megawatts. This deal for 36 megawatts of additional capacity is being entered into with UCC Holding, a Qatari-based international energy concession and construction company.
I wish to announce that today, government through the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated conducted a time charter agreement with UCC Holding for a power ship to be deployed to Guyana within 3 weeks. This arrangement will bring an additional 36 megawatts of power to the national grid to offset generation shortfalls. This facility involves the chartering of a power supply vessel that will be connected to the DBIS at Everton in Berbice to provide timely support to the generation capacity of GPL and relief for consumers connected to DBIS grid. The vessel will be chartered for a period of 24 months from the date of commencement of the agreement. This power arrangement is being obtained at a very competitive cost. It will cover the charter cost of the vessel, including its generating engines, as well as operations and maintenance costs.
While Guyana signed the agreement with UCC Holding, the floating power plant vessel is owned by Turkish-based Car Power Ship, which operates a fleet of ships that generate electricity. These two companies have a strategic alliance for the Latin American region with operations in Brazil and the Dominican Republic. The finalization of this power deal now paves the way for the deployment of the floating power plant, which is expected to be installed within 3 weeks. According to President Ali, works are currently being undertaken locally to prepare the infrastructure to connect the power ship to the national grid.
It is amazing that within 15 days, we can have a power ship coming in here, ready to be connected to the grid. So in the next 14 days, we are working on ensuring that all the infrastructure is in place to accept that power, more than 35 megawatt.
Michelle Henry, The Evening News.
Even as the government grapples to address the issues at Guyana Power and Light, Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh has disclosed that no other administration has done more to enhance the state-owned power company. In fact, he disclosed that in his 4 years in office, the current People's Progressive Party civic government has installed 127 megawatts of new capacity into the national grid. Find out more in this report.
So, the 9.6 megawatts of emergency power, the 46.5 megawatts that were installed at Garden of Eden, the 28.9 megawatts that were installed at Columbia, the 6 megawatts that were installed at Anvawak, in total give us 91 megawatts of power that we have installed since we returned to office. An additional 36 megawatts from a power ship. If you add those 36 megawatts to the items that I've listed above, once those 36 megawatts are brought online, which we anticipate to happen within the next 3 weeks, the People's Progressive Party would have installed 127 megawatts. In the 4 years that we've been in office, we would have installed 127 megawatts of firm power onto the network.
That was Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh reflecting on the interventions made by the PPPC government since returning to office in August 2020. This, according to Dr. Singh, could have further supplemented the 165 megawatt Amelia Falls hydro project, which was shelved by the then APNU AFC administration.
We would have had another 165 megawatts of power from Amaila, currently supplying the network, had the very APNU AFC not derailed Amaila. Right now, today, our national grid would have been getting another 165 megawatts of power.
Dr. Singh's remark come on the heels of criticism by the APNU AFC opposition over the recent heightened power outages across the country. But the finance minister argued that the coalition regime failed to enhance the capacity of the national grid during its 5-year tenure in office.
Not only did they derail Amaila using their one-seat majority during the 2011 to 2015 period, not only did they derail Amaila, but they also failed to offer an alternative. So having derailed Amaila and having come into office in 2015, where is the alternative that the APNU AFC offered to address the reality that demand is growing? Where is the alternative? They spent 5 years in office and installed barely 8 megawatts, just over 8 megawatts of power to the DBIs. Where is the Amaila alternative that APNU AFC is offering, or was offering and would have delivered to the people of Guyana?
Michelle Henry, The Evening News.
A rank of the Guyana Defense Force died on Friday evening after complaining of feeling unwell at a training school in Region 10. Corporal Leroy Tom, attached to the 2nd Infantry Battalion and of Blueberry Hill, Linden, died housed after concluding training exercise at the Colonel John Clark Military School at Takama, Upper Berbice River. He was a student on Section Commander course. According to the GDF, the rank complained of feeling unwell during a routine training event and was taken to the medical center where he was attended to by a registered nurse and medics. However, his condition deteriorated and a request was made for a medevac. A team of medical specialists from the Georgetown Public Hospital were air dashed to the training school on board the GDF's Bell 412 helicopter. Upon arrival, the team's efforts to resuscitate the corporal were futile. The soldier was pronounced dead and his body was transported to Georgetown. The GDF has since notified the soldier's family of the incident, and a board of inquiry will be convened to investigate the circumstances surrounding his death. Coming up on the other side of the break, prison service on massive recruitment drive to get quality officers. Please stay tuned.
American-made Generac pressure washers from Sylvie's Variety Store gives you the power you need to blast away dirt and grime. Providing the perfect cleaning power for any tough jobs around the house or business. From 2,500 to 4,000 PSI. So get the Generac pressure washer today with all the parts and accessories available from Sylvie's Variety Store.
The moment is coming. He has the ball. Will he make the shot? And he made it! Goal! This is the biggest win we've seen in ages. Feel the rush with every bet and win big. Play online at www.ibetgamesur.com.
With iBet Supreme, every game is your game. I bet to win with iBet Supreme.
Must be 18 years and older to bet.
Guys, I think I'm in love! Wow!
Yeah, I was looking at you too.
What? What are you talking about? I'm in the tiles. Where did you get them?
Oh, me, Madeka. Obviously the best tile store in Guyana. Come, let me take you there.
My kitchen, my bathroom, my floors. Mima Decor has everything. And the prices are great too.
So, yeah, I want to have a date now.
We can build on that.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. The Guyana Prison Service, GPS, has recently intensified its efforts to recruit high-quality officers. Multiple recruitment drives were conducted in various regions across the country, attracting a significant number of potential candidates. Luanda McAllister has the details.
The Guyana Prison Service said its countrywide recruitment drives have been a massive hit. However, despite the turnout of around 120 potential recruits for the exams, only 37 were shortlisted. Assistant Superintendent of Prisons and Prison School Administrator Abid Dikuna emphasized the importance of selecting quality over quantity to ensure the effectiveness and efficiency of the prison service.
Of that number, we were able to shortlist 37 persons who were already interviewed. Provided approval is granted, we will very soon have those persons enter the prison service. And as you speak of legacy, I want to make it clear, this is the only job in the world where you can leave school and be a supervisor. So as you are hired, of course, you go through your basic training.
Yes.
You're basically trained to be supervisors because you have to supervise the prisoners under your charge.
Yes.
And also, you are molded at the training level, at the basic level, to be supervisors not only to prisoners, but also to your fellow officers. That means that your behavior, your character must be exemplary. So that's the reason the number was whittled down to such a small number, because we do not want the wrong element entering the prison service.
Of course.
But suffice it to say, I think that the persons who were selected to enter the prison service, I think that those persons will indeed be a part of a very dynamic team to come, because they are the future of the service.
Dikuna highlighted the plethora of opportunities awaiting new recruits within the prison service. He also shared personal accomplishments and opportunities he has encountered during his tenure.
I have basically from 2007 worked at the Guyana Prison Service, but not only worked, but was worked on. Suffice it to say, to mold me into the prison officer that the service required. And that molding required several facets of training, inclusive of occupational safety and health, which serves quite nicely now that we are registering our training centers. I was exposed to training in psychology, and right now I'm doing a degree in criminology at the University of the Southern Caribbean. It's going quite nicely. And I must say that the content from that program is applicable daily. Okay. So it brought me to that point, years of experience, to now use the techniques learned in the different training programs, inclusive of a master's I'm also doing at the University of Excellence Management and Business, to bring up ranks, more or less, be a role model to them, ensure that they do the right thing, and to also guide them in the correct path, the correct career path that is necessary for them to shine in the prison service.
Recently, Acting Director of Prisons Nicolin Elliott had hinted at potential revisions to the entry requirements for recruits. He stressed the significance of a solid secondary education as the basic prerequisite for candidates, along with the completion of a written examination. According to the prison director, higher requirements would attract more competent candidates and ensure their retention within the service. However, Elliott acknowledged the challenges faced by the Guyana Prison Service in recruiting and retaining skilled personnel, citing efforts to improve conditions of service and address issues such as allowances and salaries. Lawanda McAllister for the Evening News.
Some 6,000 Guyanese are actively working in the oil and gas sector. However, the Guyana government is not satisfied with this number. According to Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat, more local persons will be trained to work in the petroleum sector. More in this Trishelle Sobers report.
Of the 6,000 locals in the oil and gas sector, over 900 Guyanese are employed as plant and machine operators, some 1,203 as professionals including accountants, lawyers and engineers, and another 485 as technicians. The current estimates suggest that US $518 million be procured from Guyanese suppliers providing goods and services. During a recent appearance on the Guyana Dialogue program, Natural Resource Minister Vikram Bharat disclosed that Guyana is producing a total of 645,000 barrels of oil per day, and this number is projected to increase to 1.3 million barrels of oil per day by 2027 or 2028. According to Minister Bharat, the number of locals in the sector must complement Guyana's oil and gas operations.
6,000 is quite significant, but we are not satisfied. We are working right now to build out the Guyana Technical Training College in Berbice, in Port Grand Berbice, to ensure that we train more of our people so that they can be employed directly in the sector.
Meanwhile, Minister Bharat disclosed that the local content legislation has facilitated numerous partnerships between local and foreign companies, encouraging collaboration in the emerging petroleum industry. Notable alliances include joint ventures and partnerships that will be providing shore-based facilities, offshore support vessel service, offshore helicopter service, offshore catering service, machining and fabrication services, and hazardous waste management. These partnerships comply with the FACT as well as contribute to business expansion, capacity development, and knowledge sharing within the country's oil and gas industry. According to the Natural Resource Minister, more public-private partnerships like these can play an integral role in ramping up the employment numbers of local Guyanese in the oil and gas sector. He noted that government is willing to work with companies who have innovative ideas, which will contribute to the development of the economy.
We need to work with every single stakeholder. Once they're serious about development, and once they want to work with us too in developing Guyana.
Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
Farmers and other large-scale farming companies are being advised to plan ahead as an unusual weather forecast has been predicted for the May-June period. Here's Trishelle Sobers once again with the details.
During an interview with the Evening News, Chief Hydrometeorological Officer Dr. Garvin Cummins disclosed that weather forecasts for the rainy season indicates that there might be flooding in several parts of the country. As a result, the National Meteorological and Hydrological Service is advising farmers countrywide to harvest drought-tolerant crops early. According to Dr. Cummins, farmers are also being urged to plan ahead for wetter than usual conditions by collecting water from trenches and conservancies, as well as clear drains and other waterways to assist in flood mitigation.
Because we're expecting the normal major rains, if for example, rice farmers, you want to get your crops out of the ground within the next 3-4 weeks maximum. Be prepared, to have drains clean, to have the right infrastructure in place to ensure that the lands and livestock are protected.
Further, citizens are asked to exercise caution on the roadways during the rainy season, wear rain gears, and make necessary infrastructural upgrades early. Meanwhile, the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute (NARI) has disclosed that it is well prepared to assist farmers who may be affected by flooding during the rainy season. According to NARI's Chief Executive Officer, Jagnarayan Singh, farming communities are anticipating losses coming out of the dry season, and as a result, fertilizer, seedlings, and other agricultural inputs will be made available to farmers to go back to crop. However, he explained that in the meantime, the institution is encouraging farmers to find innovative ways to cultivate and care for their crops.
One of the emphasis that we got is the emphasis on the use of smart agriculture, that's the use of shade house and so on, right? So we're recommending that people more look at shade houses, look at raising beds, look at, all the things that you can do. But we are prepared to assist with the farming community. That's our role, and we already, since the year start, we abundantly have money to do those things.
Despite the extended dry season, Guyana's agricultural food production has not only weathered the storm, but is thriving thanks to a proactive government and resilient farmers. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa reaffirmed this during a media briefing a few months ago. He said comprehensive and sustainable policies have been the key to success. Those policies focus on boosting food productivity through a range of initiatives, such as building and upgrading drainage systems, distributing farming inputs and equipment, expanding access to farmlands, increasing fresh water availability, and providing technical assistance. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
The University of Guyana's Tain Berbice campus on Friday hosted its annual Open Day and Job Fair, opening its doors to secondary school students, young individuals, and aspiring university students. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael joins us with more.
In thinking about university, people should pay attention to courses in line with their passion and interest. This is according to Natural Resource Minister Vikram Bharat. He made the statement as he delivered the feature address at the one-day exercise held on Friday in the University of Guyana Tain campus in Berbice.
It is not supposed to be a career that your parents want. Mind you, I have nothing against parents advising and giving guidance to their children. And I know at your age and your stage, you're always in a dilemma. The choices are tough. You need guidance. You need someone to speak to. But at the ending of the day, you must do something that you love. They say that if you do what you love, it does not work. But if you do what you don't love, it becomes tedious. It becomes difficult for you to wake up in the morning and get out of bed and get ready and go to work because you don't love what you're doing.
He said that once found, people should stick to the career and try to build on it. Many professionals, he noted, who are highly qualified do not stay long enough in that career to develop themselves.
I am the recruitment officer, which means a major role for me is ensuring that the bank is equipped with competent staff at all times. And that's our main reason for being here at UG's Career Fair at Tain campus.
Can you talk about some of the services you guys provide here?
Well, our services actually is a range of services. We have both actual products and services from our savings accounts. A major part that everybody knows the bank for, which is our loans, and we also have our career opportunities as well.
We are hiring, so we do encourage persons who are looking for jobs and looking for opportunity to check out our booths. We have some prizes as well because we want to continue to interact with the community, and we're so excited and happy to be here with the students and the potential job seekers.
Today we are basically on this open day to do some amount of recruiting. Right? We have several programs being offered at the Guyana School of Agriculture. There is a certificate in forestry, which is a one-year program. We have a diploma in agriculture, which is 1 year, that's 2 years. Diploma in animal health and veterinary public health. There is also a certificate in agriculture program. So basically the students with their CSEC, they would apply, you apply either online.
A person can apply to become a order rank in the Guyana Defense Force. And then they can apply to become an officer as well. So it all depends on their qualification. To be an officer, you will have to get 6 subject CXCs, including maths and English. And then you will go through training and you become an officer after your stint in your course. So when you become a member of the Guyana Defense Force, as you can see, there are several units that you can be placed into. And it ranges from being a medical personnel to being a special force personnel in the Guyana Defense Force.
We are a company working for Exxon in the oil and gas space. We currently have 4 rigs that are currently drilling offshore. And why we're here today is we are supporting our manpower service provider, Eldorado Offshore. What Eldorado does for us is they help us to seek out persons who are talented, persons with technical skills that we want to hire for jobs, potential jobs offshore. So far, we've been in Guyana for 6 years, and over that 6 years, we would have hired and trained over 1,000 employees. Of course, some of those employees are no longer with us. They would have moved on to other projects.
Meanwhile, Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor Paloma Mohamed Martin, expressed satisfaction with the event's turnout and the continued trend in featuring a diverse range of leading public and private companies. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Sunday, April 14, 2024 at 22 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 7 hours 30 on Sunday, April 14, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Harpy Eagles mauled Jamaica Scorpions by 212 runs. This and more coming up in the Sportscast, sponsored by McCorp.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
The moment is coming. He has the ball. Will he make the shot? And he made it! Goal! biggest win we've seen in ages. Feel the rush with every bet and win big. Play online at www.ibetgamesui.com.
With iBet Supreme, every game is your game. I bet to win with iBet Supreme.
Must be 18 years and older to bet.